So in our if statements, we're looking at whether something is true or not. Even in our while loops, we have while something is true. When we talk about true and falseness, we're talking about a Boolean value, yes or no, 1 or 2, true or false. There's a data type in Python called a Boolean value. And if you look at bool1, bool1, you can see that we have set the variable continue equal to true. Notice that there's a capital T here because true is a value. It is not the string true. It is a Boolean value called true. And as you can see, we can say if continue, print true, and we can compare that value to the true constant by using the is command. And so we can also make it false, and then we can say we can print true, but it's true, it's false. And so we can say not continue, not that. So if continue is not true, it's false. And as you can see, it is false. And then we can say if continue, print true, but it's not. We can also look if continue is equal to false, which is the same as not true. And then we can say if continue, print true, if continue not equal to true. So the comparisons are still the same and they still work. We can also print the value, which in Python is false, not the text value false, it's the Boolean value false. If we look at Boolean 2, you can see we can also use the bool operator, B-O-O-L, or Boolean operator to evaluate whether something is true. So we are going to print whether 5 is greater than 3, and it's going to say, of course, true. And we're going to set the value variable equal to the Boolean expression 5 greater than 3, which of course is equal to 2 as well. And if we look at Boolean 3, we can also find the Boolean expression of a value, 5. What is 5 true or false? In Python world, 5 is true. Is the string cat true or false? In Python, that's true. And we can also set those values to variables and then check their Boolean values. And of course, they're all true. If we look at bool 4, you can see we have 0, we have the empty set, and we have an empty list. And of course, what are we going to get? We're going to get those are all false. But if we set those values equal to something, then that Boolean value is true. So 0, an empty list, an empty string are Boolean false. But if there's something there, it's considered Boolean true. Now, here's the really tricky part. If you look at Boolean 5 or bool 5, you will see that we set a Boolean value equal to true. We print that value. We set a new that Boolean value equal to my Boolean value plus 1. In other computer languages, you can't add to a Boolean value. There's constraints that won't let you do that. Python says, sure, why not? And when we run that, you see that it turns into a 2. So you might think that true is equal to 1 in Python, or 1 is equal to true in Python. And I'm not willing to say that, but it sure looks suspiciously like it stores it as a 1. And guess what we store as a 0? What? Well, if we do 0, it's equal to false, right? And sure enough, it's equal to false. And if we add 1 to that, it's equal to 1. Don't do that. Don't add values to your Booleans. Now, Booleans are a big deal in other languages because it's a way of constraining the variable to either be true or false. And that way you don't mistakenly add numbers to it and change its true or falseness value. Python will let you do that. And so Booleans are still used in Python, but they're not used as much in Python because that extra level of security while you're using Python isn't as important. But Booleans are still used, and one of the ways they can be used is in a while loop. Just as we have a Boolean in an if statement, we have the same thing in the while loop, while something is true. So we could set a variable like continue to true, and then like in our menu program, and then when we go to quit, we set that value equal false, not quote FALSE, just continue equals false with a capital F. And that way we will fall out of the loop whenever the user wants to, and we're using Booleans rather than looking at strings and having to worry about whether it's capital or small and all that issues. So that's Booleans.